Mossberg is funny.
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
You see, they sent me these two guns, one called the 590RM, the other one called 590R, and they want me to believe that they're shotguns. Sure, they shoot shotgun shells and do shotgun things, but make no mistake, these are not shotguns. They are a rifle in shotgun clothing. If anything, it feels like someone took an AR-15, gave it a pump action makeover and said, now let's make it shoot shotgun shells. All right, maybe I'm being a little dramatic, but this thing screams AR inspired shotgun in all the ways that I want it to be. Now, like I talked about before, this thing, the way it is in my hand, the way that I hold it, the way that it feels, it essentially feels like a rifle. A pump rifle, but a rifle nonetheless. But I will say that just the overall shooting experience with this gun was pretty damn enjoyable. See, traditional shotgun safeties suck. They're unintuitive, they're awkward, and require you to fumble around like you're solving a Rubik's Cube in the middle of a Taylor Swift concert while Kaylee and all of her friends scream sing off key as they relive their last breakup in real time.
Hi, my name is Haley. I'm a blonde, I have no tits. I make boys fall in love with me, they always throwing fits. I like being single, no, I've never been cuffed. These boys want a relationship, but I'm just trying to—
Not that Kaylee, this Kaylee. Before you finish watching this video, I want to quickly talk about the hearing protection that I'm wearing in this video. These are the AKT1 blackout wireless in-ear hearing protection with Bluetooth. I like to call them the AirPods for shooters. I say for shooters because AirPods don't protect your hearing, but these do. They are hands down my favorite in-ear hearing protection that I've ever used, and I mean ever. They have an NR 25 dB auto noise blocking. They can enhance your hearing by 6 times. They have advanced noise cancellation, Bluetooth connectivity with high fidelity speakers so you can take phone calls and listen to music. They have a battery life of 10 hours with an additional 30 hours in a charging case, and they're low profile and stylish enough to fit in not only at the gun range, but in your gym, while you're studying, working, at school, at home, you name it. I'm in love with these things, and now they're finally available on my store at shop.mrcolionnoir.com, or you can just click the link in the description section of this video. The 590R and the 590RM tosses all of that nonsense out of the window with an AR-style rotating safety. It was actually developed for a NATO breaching shotgun project. Mossberg's engineers had to design a solution for a pistol grip shotgun where you don't have to dislocate your wrists to manipulate the safety. Now the safety is positioned like an AR-15, making it intuitive and accessible without hand gymnastics. Is it as fast as an AR? Not quite. The gun's bulkier, but it's also a shotgun. But it's close enough to give you the same familiarity, and I'm here for it. Now, ever try mounting a shotgun with an AR-style collapsible stock and feel like the gun was smacking you in the face instead of giving you a proper cheek weld? That's because standard shotgun stocks tend to have a low comb, forcing you into this awkward head positioning when using optics. The 590R and the 590RM come with a 5-position collapsible stock and a raised adapter that lets you get a proper cheek weld while still keeping your line of sight perfectly aligned with AR height sights or optics. Now, Mossberg has given us 2 flavors, the 590RM, which takes magazines, and the 590R, which sticks to the classic pump action design. Clearly, I gravitated towards the magazine-fed version, but here's the deal. There are trade-offs. With the 590RM, you get 10 or 20 rounds of 12-gauge firepower ready to go. The magazine also loads faster. You swap the mag, rack it, and you're back in the fight. But lose a mag? Now you're left single loading shells one at a time, and that's not exactly ideal. The 590R, on the other hand, is a more self-contained system. 7+1 or 8+1 rounds in the tube, and you can top it off as you go. Is it slower? Yes, but you're never entirely out of the fight. It really comes down to what you prefer.
Do you want crazy capacity and quick reloads? Or do you want something that's always ready with no extras required? I want to talk about these magazines for a second because honestly, they're half the reason the 590RM is so fun to me. The 20-round mag is so massive, every time I hold it, I get this uncontrollable urge to yell, "No Diddy," every 35 seconds. But here's the twist. They're not just for show. These mags feel bomb-proof, and they come in multiple sizes. You have 5-rounder, 10-rounder, 15-rounder, and 20-rounder. Now, loading them can feel like a bit of a weird task at first. You're not loading little rifle rounds. You're shoving giant shotgun shells into what feels like a space big enough for lotion bottles. But once you figure out the technique, aligning those teeth and rocking it in like an AK mag, it becomes second nature. Now, the gun is incredibly balanced, especially when you're running it with a magazine. There's something about that weight kind of hanging over the center or just underneath the center of the gun that gives the gun a very stable and solid feel to it. And it doesn't feel like it's too weighty on one end or the other. And it allows you to maneuver between targets very efficiently and smoothly, almost forcing you to run the gun smoother than you normally would. Now, when it comes to shooting these guns, recoil on a shotgun, generally speaking, is going to be pretty dependent on the ammo a lot of the times. You see, if you shoot high-powered loads, then you're gonna get high-powered recoil. But nonetheless, the recoil on this gun was pretty manageable. There was nothing about it that stood out to me that thought, "Oh, this is too damn much," or, "Oh, nothing about this also said, oh, this is the softest recoiling gun on the planet. Oh my gosh, how did they do this?" Either way, I still enjoy shooting these damn guns. Mainly the magazine one, but like I said, that's the one I prefer. What? Now, as far as ergonomics, the way this gun feels, like I said, it feels like a rifle. So everything feels natural about it. The way you get your cheek weld on the gun, and the way your hands grip the pistol grip, and the way you work the action on the pump. Now, I will say this about working the pump. Because it feels so much like a rifle, you can almost forget to rack the gun because it's so reminiscent of shooting a rifle in a lot of ways. You forget to pump because you think it's a semi, but it's a pump. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but nonetheless, once you kind of get into the rhythm of running the gun and racking the pump again, because racking this gun is incredibly smooth, I start having a really good time. And Can we talk about how much I love loading this shotgun? This is probably one of the easiest loading shotguns I've ever utilized in my life. Now, I'm talking about the 590R, the one that doesn't have the magazine. And I gave some high praises in the past to some shotguns when it comes to loading, but this one, this tops it. I mean, absolutely tops it. I have no thumb anxiety when I'm loading the shells and thinking my thumb is gonna get stuck. None of that crap. It's, yep, zip, 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 straight into the tube with no issues, and I freaking love it. Now, let's talk about this trigger for a second. Why is it that shotgun triggers tend to feel better than a lot of AR triggers to me for some reason? Not all of them, but a good number of them. You see, the flat face trigger on this 590R and 590RM is crisp, it's clean and predictable. There's none of that weird creep you sometimes get in budget triggers. It's got a nice wall, a clean break, and a solid reset. Everything you want when you're running the gun hard. Sure, it leans a bit on the heavier side because it kind of is a shotgun trigger still, but it feels so clean compared to what I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but shotguns always just seem to have better triggers. It's just weird. And this one is no different. Now, depending on the model, you're either getting a breaching muzzle or plain muzzle. Both are fixed cylinder bores, so you're not swapping out chokes here. The breaching muzzle adds a bit of flair, sure, but it's not just a gimmick. It can actually be used for breaching doors, or just looking cool if we're being honest. The muzzle can affect your shot pattern slightly, so if you're the kind of person who kind of nerds out over tight patterns, you probably want to test a few loads. At the end of the day, I think these guns are awesome. I love where Mossberg is going with these two little guys, but I'm not gonna lie. I don't give two shits about the 590R. I'm pretty sure there are gonna be a lot of people that do, and they love it, and they'll be so happy, and I'm happy for you. But my swan song is gonna be the 590RM. I love this 590RM. It's just so cool to me. And I remember the first time I saw it and I was like, yeah, this thing is gonna bang. I just really enjoyed shooting this damn thing. And I enjoyed looking at it. It's such a uniquely looking shotgun. And in a way that I hadn't really come across in a long time since like Sega 12. But for me, I gotta say, if you're looking for a defensive shotgun and you're just bored of the old school traditional style shotguns and you want one that gives you the benefit of a modern platform like an AR-15, then come on. And at the price point for what you get with all of this, I'm telling you, the shotgun's gonna be making a lot of noise. Now, if you excuse me, I've got a 20-round mag calling my name, and it's not going to empty itself. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you, and we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.